Once upon a time in the beautiful village of Oduko, there lived a clever but lazy young man named Chijioke. Chijioke was known for always finding shortcuts in life. While others worked hard in their farms or sold goods at the market, Chijioke spent his days thinking about how to get rich without lifting a finger. One sunny morning, Chijioke sat under the old baobab tree, scratching his head. "There must be an easier way to make money," he muttered. Just then, he spotted a blind beggar, Baba Namdi, sitting by the market gate. Baba Namdi was loved by everyone, and many people gave him coins out of pity. Chijioke's eyes lit up with a mischievous idea. "If Baba Namdi can get so much money just sitting there, why can't I pretend to be a blind beggar too?" he thought. The next morning, Chijioke dressed in tattered clothes, tied a dirty rag around his eyes, and grabbed a stick to act as his cane. He hobbled to the market, pretending to stumble with every step. "Oh, pity me, good people of Oduko," Chijioke cried. "I have lost my sight and have no one to care for me. Please help a poor blind man." The kind villagers felt sorry for him. Mama Nkechi, the bread seller, gave him a loaf of bread. Obi, the fisherman, dropped a shiny coin into his calabash. Even the children shared their roasted corn. Chijioke was thrilled. "This is so easy," he thought, grinning beneath his blindfold. He was making more money in one day than he ever had before. But little did Chijioke know that his plan was about to take a surprising turn. Among the crowd was a little girl named Ada, known for her sharp eyes and curious nature. She watched Chijioke closely, tilting her head. Something didn't seem right. "Papa," Ada whispered to her father, "that blind man doesn't act like Baba Namdi. He moves too fast, and he didn't even bump into the basket of yams." Her father, a wise elder named Papa Uchenna, nodded thoughtfully. "Let's observe him for a while," he said. As the day went on, Chijioke grew greedy. He decided to move closer to the wealthy traders, hoping to collect more coins. In his excitement, he accidentally knocked over a basket of ripe oranges. "Hey! Watch where you're going, blind man," yelled the orange seller. Chijioke panicked and bent down to pick up an orange. But he forgot to stumble like a blind man. Ada, who was watching, gasped. "Papa! Look! He can see!" Ada exclaimed. The villagers turned to Chijioke. Suspicious murmurs filled the air. "Could he be pretending?" someone asked. Before Chijioke could escape, Papa Uchenna stepped forward. "Young man, if you are truly blind, then tell us, what color is Ada's dress?" Chijioke froze. Sweat dripped down his face. He knew he was caught, but he tried to think fast. It is red," he stammered. The crowd gasped. Ada was wearing a green dress. As the villagers surrounded Chijioke, an old man with a long white beard stepped forward. His name was Elder Amodi, and he was known for his wisdom and mysterious ways. "Wait," Elder Amodi said, raising his hand. "Before we punish him, let us hear his story. Why did you pretend to be blind, young man?" Chijioke lowered his head in shame. I was tired of being poor," he admitted. "I thought this was the easiest way to get money." Elder Amodi looked at him with piercing eyes. "What you did was wrong, but perhaps this is a chance for you to learn a lesson. You will repay the kindness of these people, and I will decide your punishment." The villagers murmured in agreement, curious about what Elder Amodi would do next. But before anyone could say more, a loud rumble echoed in the distance. The ground shook, and everyone turned to see a cloud of dust rising from the forest path. "What is that?" someone shouted. Elder Amodi's face grew serious. "It seems trouble is coming to Oduko," he said. "And Chijioke might play a bigger role in it than we think." The villagers of Oduko stared at the rising dust cloud with wide eyes. The ground trembled, and the sound of hoofs thundering on the dirt road grew louder. Elder Amodi raised his hand to calm the crowd. "Everyone, stay together," he said firmly. "Whatever this is, we will face it as one." Chijioke, still surrounded by villagers, felt his heart race. "Maybe I should run," he thought. But then he remembered the stern look in Elder Amodi's eyes. Something told him running would only make things worse. Out of the dust appeared a group of travelers dressed in strange robes. At the front was a tall man riding a black horse. His face was stern, and his voice boomed as he addressed the crowd. "I am Chief Olimite, the guardian of the sacred forest," he declared. "I seek the one who has disturbed the peace of the land with their deceit and greed." The villagers exchanged nervous glances. Who could he be talking about? Elder Amodi stepped forward. "Chief Olimide, welcome to Oduko. What has happened in the sacred forest to bring you here?" Chief Olimide's gaze swept over the crowd before landing on Chijioke. He pointed his staff directly at him. "It is this young man," he said, his voice heavy with authority. "His dishonesty has awakened the Ajulu, the spirit of justice, who now seeks to balance the wrongs done by his trickery." Chijioke's knees buckled. "Me? I didn't go to the forest," he stammered. "You didn't need to," Chief Olimide replied. "The spirits are always watching. Your lies and greed have disturbed the harmony of this land. The Ajulu is angry, and its rage will spread unless you make things right." The villagers gasped, their anger shifting to concern. Mama Nkechi clutched her chest. "What will happen to us?" she asked. "The Ajalo brings storms, sickness, and famine," Chief Olimide said grimly. "But there is a way to calm it." Elder Amodi stepped forward again. "What must be done to appease the Ajalo?" he asked. Chief Olimide's eyes narrowed. "Someone must journey to the sacred forest to find the Ajalo's shrine and offer a gift of true repentance. The journey is dangerous, filled with tests of the heart and mind. Only the one who caused this trouble can undertake it." All eyes turned to Chijioke. His mouth went dry. "Me? Go to the sacred forest? Alone? You caused this," Ede piped up, her small voice firm. "You should fix it." Chijioke wanted to protest, but Elder Amodi placed a hand on his shoulder. "Chijioke, this is your chance to prove you can change. Do you accept this task?" Chijioke hesitated, his mind racing. If he refused, the village would suffer. But the forest was rumored to be full of wild animals and spirits. Could he survive? Finally, he nodded, though his legs shook. "I'll go," he said quietly. The next morning, the villagers gathered to see Chijioke off. Elder Amodi handed him a small pouch. "Inside is a kola nut and a charm of protection," he said. "You must also take this." He held out a simple carved staff to remind you to walk the straight path. Chief Olimide nodded approvingly. "The forest will test your heart, Chijioke. If you are truly sorry for your actions, you will find the shrine. But if you continue to lie or take shortcuts, you will never return." Chijioke swallowed hard. "I understand," he said, though his voice wavered. As Chijioke stepped into the forest, the trees seemed to close in around him. Shadows danced on the ground, and strange whispers filled the air. Every rustle of leaves made his heart jump. He walked for hours until he came to a fork in the path. One path was wide and smooth, with sunlight filtering through the trees. The other was narrow and overgrown, with thorny bushes blocking the way. The easy path must be the right one, Chijioke thought. He stepped onto the wide path, but as soon as he did, the ground beneath him gave way. Chijioke tumbled into a hidden pit, landing with a thud. As he looked up, he saw strange glowing eyes peering at him from the darkness. A deep voice echoed in the pit. "Why have you come here, deceiver?" Chijioke scrambled to his feet, his heart pounding. "I have come to make things right," he stammered. "Lies," the voice boomed. You seek only to save yourself. Prove your sincerity, or you will never leave this place. Chijiok's mind raced. What could he do to prove he was sorry? Then he remembered the kola nut in his pouch. It was his only food, but he held it out with trembling hands. This is all I have, he said. Take it as a sign of my repentance. The glowing eyes blinked, and the pit began to fill with light. The voice softened. Your journey is far from over, but this is a step in the right direction. Go, and learn the true meaning of honesty and sacrifice. Chijiok found himself back on the forest path, shaken but unharmed. The narrow, thorny path now lay before him, and he realized he had no choice but to take it. As he moved forward, he heard a faint laugh behind him. It was Ada's voice in his memory, saying, "You should fix it." Chijiok clenched the staff in his hand. "I will fix it," he whispered. No more shortcuts. Chijiok pressed forward on the narrow, thorny path, his feet sore and his arms scratched. Every step felt heavier than the last, but he gripped Elder Amodi's staff tightly, reminding himself why he had to keep going. The whispers in the forest grew louder, sometimes sounding like laughter, other times like crying. But Chijiok didn't stop. No shortcuts this time, he told himself, pushing through the bushes. At last, he reached a clearing where the trees parted, revealing a shimmering river that sparkled like diamonds. Across the river stood a towering shrine made of stone, vines, and glowing symbols. This was it, the Ajulu's shrine. But there was one problem. The river had no bridge, and the current was fierce. As Chijiok looked around, a small figure appeared beside him. It was a hunched old woman carrying a basket of yams. She smiled at him with kind, tired eyes. "Young man," she said, "can you help me carry my yams across this river?" "I cannot do it alone." Chijiok hesitated. He wanted to reach the shrine quickly and end this ordeal. But something in him stirred, a memory of the villagers who had helped him, even when he was lying. "Yes, I'll help you," Chijiok said. He gathered the yams and followed the old woman to the water's edge. As they stepped into the river, the current seemed to grow stronger. Chijiok struggled to keep his balance while holding the heavy yams. The water was cold and powerful, but the old woman encouraged him. "Steady, young man. You're stronger than you think," she said. When they reached the other side, the old woman smiled and touched Chijiok's shoulder. "You have shown kindness where it was not required. The Ajulu will remember this." Before Chijiok could respond, the old woman vanished into thin air, leaving only the scent of wildflowers. Now alone, Chijiok climbed the stone steps of the shrine. The air around him shimmered with light, and a deep echoing voice filled the clearing. "Why have you come here, mortal?" the voice asked. Chijiok knelt, trembling. "Great Ajulu, I have come to right my wrongs. I lied to my people and took their kindness for granted. I'm ready to change, but I need your forgiveness to save my village." The shrine glowed brighter, and a figure made of light appeared. It was neither man nor woman but a swirling form of energy that seemed to see straight into Chijiok's heart. "You have begun to understand the weight of your actions," the Ajulu said. "But forgiveness must be earned. To save your village, you must answer this question: what is more valuable, truth or gold?" Chijiok thought carefully. He remembered how easy it had been to collect coins when he pretended to be blind, but also how empty it had felt. He also thought about Ada, Elder Amodi, and the villagers who had shown him kindness despite his lies. "Truth is more valuable," Chijiok said firmly. "Because without truth, no one can trust you. And without trust, you can never truly be rich." The Ajulu was silent for a moment, then spoke. "You have chosen wisely. Rise, Chijiok." A warm light surrounded Chijiok, and he found himself back at the edge of the forest. The villagers were there, waiting anxiously. When they saw him, they cheered. "Chijiok is back. Ada shouted, running to him. Elder Amodi stepped forward, his eyes filled with pride. "What did you learn, young man?" Chijioke bowed his head. "I learned that honesty and kindness are worth more than all the gold in the world. I'm sorry for what I did, and I will spend the rest of my life making it up to all of you." From that day on, Chijioke became a changed man. He worked hard, helping the villagers with their farms and trades. He even became a storyteller, teaching children like Ada the importance of truth and hard work. And as for the Ajolu, the villagers believed it had blessed Oduko with peace and prosperity, for the rains were steady, the crops were bountiful, and the people grew closer than ever. Chijioke's tale spread far and wide, becoming a legend told to remind everyone that no matter how far you stray, it's never too late to choose the right path.